Hey team, happy Friday and welcome to the Standard Podcast where we raise the bar, rebuild the culture, and call out the lies nobody else will. This isn't motivation, this is a movement. I'm Thomas Rowe and I'm joined with my co-host Aaron Charles, and today we're sitting down with Freddie Gladney, founder and CEO of Gladney Family Enterprises, a leadership-driven business built on the conviction that lasting wealth is built from the inside out. Freddie's story is one of athletic excellence, entrepreneurial vision, and understanding the true success comes from character first. Amen. A former NCAA Division I track and field athlete at UC Irvine, go Anteaters. Freddie knows firsthand the discipline, sacrifice, and the identity forged through elite competition, and what it takes to channel the same drive into building something that outlasts your athletic career. For 12 years, Freddie has helped hundreds of entrepreneurs across 27 states and 4 countries pursue financial freedom, business ownership, and general legacy in their own terms. His work extends far beyond traditional business coaching and addresses the foundational elements that determine whether someone builds lasting wealth or just temporary success. What makes Freddie's approach so powerful is his understanding of athletic success. His athletic success translates to business success when you focus on character development rather than just skill acquisition. His mission through Gladney Family Enterprises reflects that philosophy. Help people stop trading time for money and start building something that serves their family, their community, and their purpose. Freddie operates from a core belief that character is the foundation everything else is built on, and everything else will fall into place with strong character. This isn't just business philosophy. It's a life philosophy that recognizes lasting wealth, meaningful relationships, and general impact, all that flows in the same source, who you are, not just what you achieve. As someone who has successfully transitioned from elite athletics to entrepreneurial leadership while helping hundreds of others do the same, Freddie represents what it looks like to build a business and that serves something greater than just personal success. His approach through Gladney Family Enterprises demonstrates his true wealth, financial, relational, and spiritual. It comes from building from the inside out rather than chasing external metrics of success. We're diving into the truth behind what it really takes to build identity, discipline, and legacy in sports and in life. Let's get into it. Freddie, you rock. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Wow. Some intro. Thomas, thank you so much for having me on. It's a blessing to be here. And I wish Blueprint to Blue Chip was around, 10, 15, 20 years ago. So this is incredible.
Yep. So do we. That's one of the things to build on that. Aaron and I were talking, when the original inception of Blueprint, and I was just kind of sitting on the couch and I just had this distant stare, and she said, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "I wish I had this when I was coming up." So yes, we appreciate that. And we're doing everything we can to stay in stride with entrepreneurs like yourself. You're a founder and CEO of Gladney Family Enterprises, built on the conviction that lasting wealth is built from the inside out. What does raising the standard mean to you in the work you're doing with entrepreneurs and business owners?
I'd say raising the standard for me, it kind of means 2 things. One, that means raising the lower bar in our life. We kind of all have these 2 bars, and heard this talked about a lot. There's the higher bar is what most people think of raising. And the higher bar is what we're shooting for, what we're aiming for, our ambitions, our goals, our desires. This is the times I want to hit. These are the metrics I want to hit. This is the stats I want to have as an athlete. And that's the higher bar. But the lower bar is what you won't go below. And we all have those things in our life. This is my goal, but I know no matter what, I'm never going to be like this. I'm never going to run this slow, or I'm never going to have this many interceptions. Right. And so I think what I've found is raising the standard to me means raising that lower bar. It could be in your family life, financials, the standard that you have for how you carry yourself, your character. Raising the lower bar for me is something that has been powerful because it's easy to say, I want to crush it. I want to do this. And if you don't hit it, you didn't hit it. Right. But to raise the lower bar on no matter what, I will always make sure that I at least am here. Slowly raising that in my life has been a big difference. And I've seen that impact a lot of people. And then another part of raising the standard is showing people what's possible.
Sure.
Just showing people what's possible holistically in their life. Not just money, not just accolades, not just influence, but purpose. And, are you happy with the person that you look, at in the mirror?
So, love it. Yeah. Love it. And what do you think is the biggest lie that you feel the culture of the business world has sold entrepreneurs and former athletes about wealth building, success, and what it really takes to create something that lasts?
I mean, I think the biggest lie on earth to athletes for sure, entrepreneurs, people that own companies, people that are pursuing any kind of success is that I'll be happy when.
Right.
That's the lie. I'll be happy when I make it to the league. I'll be happy when I get a ring. I'll be happy when I make millions. I'll be happy when I'm famous. I'll be happy when I make varsity. I'll be happy when I marry this person. No, you won't.
Right.
I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when. And it's just choosing joy in the moment. Sounds corny, but I don't see many people making it that are purporting this. I'll be happy when. Not many people that say that are making it. So look around, look at the world. So I think the choosing, finding the silver lining, so to speak, and then you use elevate. I would say we want to. We're designed to grow, to pioneer, to innovate. And I think human words about what is your being. And one of my favorite quotes about success is, a man's greatest reward or a woman's greatest reward for their pursuit of success is not what they get from it, but who they become through it. So,
that's awesome. That's awesome. You're a former D1 track and field athlete from UC Irvine, and you understand that discipline and identity forged through elite competition. How did your athletic background shape your understanding that character is the foundation everything else is built on?
Well, I had phenomenal coaches. I mean, unbelievable coaches. My high school coach was there, and they're all very strong men. I mean, they're very tough. But my high school coach was phenomenal. My college coach, Jeff Perkins, who is the coach now, who's the head coach at UC Irvine. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. And so I think he made it clear that if athletes were he valued talent, and he valued hard work for sure. He valued people that were good and people that were hard working. But if your grades weren't up, this is in college, you mouthing off in the sports medicine room to the trainers, he was going to talk to you about it. And he cared so much about how we elevated as people. And so and then also to the captains, like almost every sport, the captain wasn't always the most talented basketball player, the fastest runner. It was the man or the woman, or usually it was both. We had, captains for both teams that carried themselves with professionalism and that represented the program with excellence. And, we have this statement that, a lot of men think that they're tough because they can deadlift 500 pounds, but they crumble under the weight of responsibility. And it's like, can you really carry the weight? And so now, obviously, if you're trash in your sport, you probably shouldn't be on the team. I mean, you need to be good. You need to be good. That's part of excellence. But seeing that in sports showed me that character matters. And because I've seen athletes that were good, not great, but good, inspire a team to win.
Sure.
And I've seen teams kill it when leadership comes from maybe not the most talented, but somebody that really understands people, understands character, and can speak to the heart of people. And they can get the really talented people to step up. So,
Agreed. That's awesome. One of the things that we talk about often is, especially on football teams where you have, 80 plus athletes, just because you're not a captain doesn't mean you can't be a leader, right? So that, that's same with the track team, same with the basketball team. With that, we're going to turn it over to segment 2, which is identity and wealth building. Aaron, take it away.
Awesome. Freddie, so glad to have you here. So for our audience, I want to start off with, beyond all the accolades that Thomas shared to kick us off, who is Freddie well beyond all of that?
Yeah. Well, Aaron, thanks for having me, and very excited to be here. Who am I? I mean, first and foremost, I'm a Christian. And so that just sets the foundation for everything that I do. I think identity, everything stems from identity. It's just concept and success of be, do, have. You got to be the person you need to be, to do the thing you need to do, to have what it is that you want to have. And so if I don't know who I am, I can't be. And so my foundation is built on God. And I'm a 37-year-old, Black man in America who's married with and has children. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. But I think I'm a man that God has called to strengthen other men and help people build strong families. I believe the family unit is the incubator for the American dream. And so helping people just build strong families, strong units, and teaching people what it looks like to excel in every area of their life. And so, I grew up in a single parent home. My parents split up when I was 8 years old. Both of them are phenomenal parents, amazing people. They didn't make it. But so seeing the single mom situation and, getting in a lot of trouble when I was younger, it forged a lot of my identity. And then some of that really helped me to excel. Some of that were wounds I had to heal from. But I was born in Southern California. And I think that my identity for me, I want my identity to be rooted in service, and that I can serve people and please God, as opposed to try to please people. I used to be a huge people pleaser, which doesn't help anybody. And so I don't want to please people and serve God. I want to please God and serve people. And yeah, that's who I am.
I love that. That is so well said. That is spot on. And I think it's just such a beautiful testament to what we're called to do, and how do we help people find that? Because you help people stop trading their time for money and start building something that serves their family, their community, and their purpose, is all the things you just talked about. What does legacy beyond just financial success mean to you, especially as somebody helping others build generational wealth?
Yeah, to me, legacy, I've heard this said once and I love it, that legacy is not what you leave behind, but what you set in motion. I think that's great. And so it's not just what we leave for our kids. I mean, you could compound that word, right? I mean, legacy, a part of it is financial, what we leave behind for our children. But if we leave them just a bunch of money and don't teach them how to think, don't teach them how to serve, how to be generous, how to cultivate a generous heart, then it'll ruin them. So, but we want to do that. So we do want to leave them money. So it's material wealth is a part of it for sure. It absolutely is a part of it. But it's also what we leave in them. That's really our legacy, right? An inheritance can be what you leave for them, maybe, but a legacy is what we're going to leave in them. And so that's something that we're focused on. And then what we set in motion, our legacy is going to be, the conversations that were had at the table. It's going to be, because it's interesting. We think about these major moments with our children, or even with athletes that we coach, or friends, or coworkers, or colleagues, or co-founders, and these big moments we have. This award, or teammates, this award you guys just won the ship. Okay, we're going to the ship. We're going to the ship. We just won the championship. Whatever. We think about these major moments, and that's not really what life is. Those are blips on the radar, which are phenomenal. We celebrate them, but life is the practice where you're struggling and your teammates right there with you. Life is the conversation you have with your kid at the table. Life is the conversation you have with your spouse, whatever it might be. Those make up so much more of the moments. And so a big part of our legacy is going to be stitching all those moments together and hopefully weaving a fabric and a story together for what our family is about, setting in motion, which is what I said earlier. It's serving people, right? It's serving people at the highest level, and just pursuing excellence in everything that we do, so that our life can be a testament to what it looks like to be excellent. And a part of excellence is failure. It's messing up, and that's okay, and moving through that. And so that is a big part of what we want our legacy to be. And that's the kind of thing, those are the kind of ideas that we want to be set in motion with our children, and obviously them having a foundation of faith.
I love that. Yeah, we are here to be excellent. We're here to realize that. And I think that's so important, is to never fall short of that. So when you think about operating from the belief that lasting wealth is built from the inside out, what separates entrepreneurs who build sustainable generational wealth from those who achieve temporary financial success?
Yeah, I mean, a handful of things. I think one of the things that separates people that build something that sustains, like it's going to be around 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, generations from now, like your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, versus people that it's fleeting. It's all mindset for sure. It's going to be how you think. And like people think, I was on the right team, know how to expect greatness. They don't, because you're getting out of life what you pay. And I tell people, you're living the life, your story you tell yourself. If you don't like the life you're living, let's start living a story. We talked about that. The thought that you're saying, people, everything out their mouth. I mean, everything out their mouth is what's wrong. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And it's not being ignorant. Make is I don't have time to get into all that right now. Probably about 5 minutes time to that, and just how you think. Things you can help is getting people around you that think differently than you. Something like my coach in college, he thought differently of me than I did about excellence when it comes to track and field specifically. I was a hurdler, so his thought process was so different. So if success and long-standing wealth, making money long-term, and not just wealth financially, but wealth in relationships and impact and love, your health, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, is going to be based on how you think. You should get around people that think really well. How do you know that they think well? They have sustained success in their life. Success leaves clues. And so does failure. So looking at people that have achieved some things that you're looking to achieve, and then find out how they think. Don't just ask them what they did. We live in the information age. You can find out a lot of things to do. You can go Google, you can go Chat GPT, a million things to do, but people need to learn how to think. And so that's what I have found is the difference. I think Angela Duckworth talks about this in her book, Grit. Carol Dweck kills it talking about this in her book, Mindset. To fixed mindset. Fixed mindset, you're just going to stay stuck. But the beautiful thing is that's not a concrete trait. It's static. It's not static. I mean, you can change and you can develop a growth mindset.
So that's one of my favorite books. I love that book. What's one truth you wish every entrepreneur, former athlete, or business owner understood about character-based wealth building that most people are not hearing?
I mean, it's out there, but it's very rare. I think you gotta give up to go up. Everybody wants to, you're always going to leave something on the table. And so that's one thing that I think athletes, especially business owners, if people want to make money, especially with NIL and just everything going on, if people want to make money, you're going to leave something on the table. So there's some opportunities out there where you can make a ton of money, but your character is going to be left on the table. There's some opportunities where you can make a lot of money and your character's intact. It's awesome, but you're going to have no life. Like you're just going to be like living 90 hours a week. I mean, so there's just always something going to be left on the table. And that's up to you, world out there, viewer, to decide what you're okay with leaving on the table. But you got to give up to go up. And then I think, and so just being aware of that. And I also wish that I would have understood this is so applicable to sports and business, which is why a lot of athletes make great entrepreneurs, I think, is that you, but the more you serve, it's the old adage, Jim Rohn or Zig Ziglar, somebody said it. If you want to get, if you help enough other people get what they want, you'll have everything you want. And I just don't think people understand how when you stop thinking about you all the time, it's not even about you. It's almost like the funny thing. It's almost kind of funny. The most selfless thing you can do, or the most selfish thing you can do, sometimes be selfish. Like if you actually just stop thinking about you, then you actually will get a lot of what you want for you. And so that's huge. Like most people want to win championships. Most athletes want to win championships. So if you actually served the team, you would get the ring. You would get the trophy. But everybody's so worried about their shine and their whatever, or getting rich or making money or people buying stuff from them and their business, that they struggle. And I think Layla Ramosi said that, like, most people struggle to make money because they're so obsessed with trying to figure out how to make money as opposed to solve problems. And you guys are solving a huge problem. Solve big problems and you make big money, but you focus on the problem, not the money. And I just don't think most people understand that. It's not being taught. It's definitely not taught in school. So
that is so profound. It's so powerful. I love that. And with that, I'm going to kick it back over to Thomas.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron. Freddie, you're absolutely right to be of service and, put everything above yourself, including your faith, in my opinion. Like you, Christian, and I love that. It's a recent walk for me, but, your life changes exponentially when you put other people first, and you nailed it. Solve the problem. Don't focus on the money. And this next segment is, if you knew then what you know now, if you could sit down with yourself as D1 athlete at UC Irvine, before you understood the principles of character-based wealth building, what would you tell that version of Freddie about preparing for life after athletics?
Well, one thing I would tell myself to prepare for life after athletics was master my athletics, because the lessons that you'll learn during your high school, collegiate, semi-pro, amateur, professional career will carry you outside of that. And it's just so interesting. Like one thing I tell myself is shut up and listen to Jeff. Everything he tells you to do, for the most part, everything he tells you to do, hydration, nutrition, sleep, weightlifting, strength and conditioning, what you're doing in preseason, postseason, right after you finish your season to get ready for the next season, everything he says to do it. Getting in the ice bath, whatever it might be. And I think the reason why is, one, it teaches you how to come to the leadership of somebody that knows something you don't, which is going to benefit you after you're done with athletics. It can be a boss as you're trying to climb the corporate ladder in your career. It could be other entrepreneurs that are coaching you or mentoring you, a mastermind you're part of, or whatever. But learning people think like they're going to just like buck all these lessons when they're young and somehow be all receptive when they're older. And you're developing your patterns, right? Your habits, like James Clear talks about. So I think that's one thing I would tell myself is listen to him, because it just develops the muscle of humility and shutting up and listening to somebody. And then if you have questions, you ask questions. Then you're not a robot. ask questions. And so that's one thing I would have told myself to prepare for life after the game, life after the track, life when the spikes get hung up, is listening and developing that. I mean, there's so many things I think that I would have told myself as well, but learning how to cultivate discipline and hard work, facing rejection, and not going with the crowd. If you want something that most people don't have, you're going to do what they don't do. So I would have locked in to those lessons, because something that I do sometimes, like a boutique service for a lot of men. This is separate from Gladney Family Enterprises, but is like this transition coaching with helping men understand you need to, what baggage from your past needs to die in the past.
Right.
But what experiences, skill sets, and battle scars that you've earned, you bring with you to make your future better. And so I would have probably went and told myself back then, there's some things that you're doing now. And I mean, I'm in college, hello, in America, but there's some things you're doing right now that you need to start to let those things die, because you do not want those things coming into your future. There's also some things that you're doing right now that are going to be some hard fought lessons and some hard won lessons, and you will bring those with you. And so taking some peace and comfort in that. But anyways, yeah.
You're spot on. I mean, one of my favorite quotes is one from Lou Holtz, and he said, I never learned anything by talking. Right. So, especially in an athletic endeavor, listen to your coaches. They're not there to set you astray. So what about current entrepreneurs and former athletes who are trying to build wealth, but still stuck in trading time for money? What do they need to understand about building from the inside out?
I think they need to take stock of what really matters to them first. Like, what really matters to them. First of all, you're never too late to get started. Even tacking on to the last question you asked me, another thing I would have told myself, which is so relevant to this question as well, is don't confuse you only live once, enjoy your youth, with completely destroy and screw up your future. And so some people think you only want, if high school is the good old days, then we have a problem. So, I mean, I would pray to God your life will get better. Like high school, I was broke. I mean, everybody's judging each other. I mean, I had a lot of fun in high school, but your life's supposed to get better. So as you grow, I think people just need to ask themselves, first of all, what matters? Like I said, leaving something on the table, what really matters to you? And I think that's something that people that want to step into entrepreneurship, going from the inside out, that's the inside is your character. Who are you? That's something Aaron asked me in the beginning. And I've been doing this for, well over a decade. And I'm still like, okay, just solidifying that. Who am I? Not really knowing who I am. That's so important. So I just know most people, don't know that. Ask them about pop culture, ask them about their favorite athlete, rapper, singer, actor, and ask them, who are you? And, they can tell you the stats. They can tell you the defensive. I know people that can tell you the defensive coordinator for every NFL team. Ask them anything about their vision for their future. They don't know. And so, which is like, if you're more excited about Ohio State than your own future, we have a problem. So just helping people start to think maybe a little bit differently about that. What do you want? And just start basic. Another thing is don't let what you can't do keep you from what you can do. So many people are so in tune with who they're not. I mean, I can't sell. And it's all these like, I can't. And they're so in tune with who they're not. And so just don't know what you can't do, keep what you can do. Okay. You told me for about an hour now, what you suck at. What are you good at? Like, there's obviously some things in there and so just think about that. And then people have got to get around other sharp people. I don't know Tony Robbins. Some people say, I don't know a millionaire. Okay. Well, find the most successful person that you do know and start there and then grow from there. And Aaron Sarles, Thomas Rowe, get around them. I mean, if you need to find people that are obviously more successful than you, and so get around them. They've walked the walk. They don't just talk. Most people walk top right and walk left. And so people need to get around people like you guys and other people in their life that clearly have created success, a legacy, and start asking questions. What you just said was so fire. I never learned anything it was Lou Holtz. I never learned anything by talking. Yeah. So I'm even like, I almost want to shut up and just listen to you guys. But that, that's key. If somebody wants to transform from athletics, you need to start somewhere. And so, or that you can get and glean tons of information. Find a local chamber of commerce, YouTube University, around people that you can at least pick their brain and ask questions, and be willing to invest in yourself. I know guys, especially from where I grew up in my neighborhood, they'll spend $300 on a pair of J's, on a pair of Jordans, but they won't spend $150 to take, or $20 to take somebody to coffee to pick their brain. I mean, it's just insane. So be willing to invest in yourself, because that is the gift that's going to continue to keep on giving. Because there's a lot of resources out there, but people need to get educated, and that all starts with knowing what they want. Because if you don't know what you want, there's a lot of people out there that'll tell you what you should want, and you want to get rooted. And I could take that so many different paths, but that is a great place to start. What kind of value do they want to add to the world? Do they want to make a lot of money? There's certain businesses that you should never get in if you want to make a lot of money, because they're not. I mean, do you want to have a lot of money and a lot of free time? There's certain businesses that you can make so much money, but you're not gonna have a lot of free time. So you start to design a life a little bit, and just start somewhere. Start to design what you want. Do you want to do something that adds value to people, or do you want us to do something that might add value, might not, but you get paid regardless? I mean, what do you want? What matters to you? And let's start piecing that together. There's options out there, because some people are like, well, I can't have it all. Well, you're gonna leave something on the table, but that doesn't mean that something on the table has to be money and character. I mean, you can make a lot of money and do things that benefit and add value, and doesn't have to suck up your entire life. You have some freedom to spend time with family or do whatever you want to do. There's an abundance of options out there. So start to design a little bit of the lifestyle and then work backwards. My wife and I call that being outcome focused. People are taught to, it's like we're asking kids, how do you want to get there when they're in high school? How do you want to get there? Which is like asking a young child, what do you want to do? And instead of asking kids, how do you want to get there? Because they're going, get where? And it's almost like we're saying, don't worry about that. I just said, how do you want to get there? And the kid's looking like, okay, get where? Don't worry about that. How do you want to get there? And if you don't know if they don't know where they want to get to, then they couldn't possibly answer the question of how do you want to get there? So first you need to ask, where do you want to go in life? And then let's reverse engineer. Then if you want to go to Hawaii, you can't take a scooter. You can't take a car. There's not many options. You want to go across the street? Don't take a plane. I mean, so we need to figure out where you start to just think about that. What do I want my life to look like in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? And let's start to architect and design either a business model or a path or a career, a job, maybe, if that's what somebody wants to do, that helps get them in alignment.
Spot on. You said something at the top of the conversation, or the top of the question was YOLO, or you only live once. I had a mentor of mine, actually it was my father, that said, Thomas, you don't live once, you only die once. Every day is a new opportunity to make a change. So, and you said something else, it's never too late to start. You just got to take action. You just got to take that first step. But you're right. How do you want to get there? How are you going to get there? And you got to take that first step. With that one, I'm going to turn it back over to Erin, which is the rapid fire round. I know that this is her favorite one. Put your seatbelt on, Freddie. She's coming.
I'm nervous.
No, get nervous. This is the fun part of the podcast. So I'm going to start a sentence and you're going to finish it. Okay?
I'm nervous. Okay.
Okay. Discipline equals
freedom.
Leadership equals
sacrifice and influence.
Ooh. Character equals
identity and foundation. Actually, foundation for character.
Legacy equals
what you set in motion.
What's one thing that you would never compromise on?
Devotion to my wife and our kids.
Nice.
I love that. And what is one message, if you could put it on the billboard for the next generation of athletes, what would your billboard say?
Be authentic and live a life of service.
That's a good one. That is awesome.
Spot on. That's great.
Okay, Thomas, it's back to you. I'm so fast.
Lickety split. Freddie, what we'd like to do in our closing segment here, and before we wrap up, this is kind of like a free flow for our clients or for our guests. Is there something we didn't touch on today that you feel entrepreneurs, former athletes, or business owners need to hear about building lasting wealth from the inside out or from the ground up?
Yeah, I think that one of the things I would add in our time here is to not dim their light. There's no nobility in settling. I think we can have a false humility, and I don't need much. And I just would tell people, don't settle. Pursue excellence in everything. We're fed this bill of goods in society. It could be pop culture, mainstream media, or Hollywood, whatever people want to call it. Which there could be some good. There's a lot of garbage. We all know. Everyone innately knows that. There's just a lot of garbage that comes out, and so just encourage people not to settle. Live a life of excellence. There was a viral clip of Timothy Chalamet, I think his name is, his actor, who when he won some awards like a year ago, whatever. And he just said, like, I want to be great. I want to be great. And I love that. I think we should want to pursue greatness. And great doesn't mean egotistical, arrogant, pompous, vain. That's not what great means. But wanting to do something great, I think, is phenomenal. And, when it comes to entrepreneurship and business, I hope people should want to make a lot of money. There's this goofy thing out there. I don't want to make that much money. And people say stuff like, I don't want, and to each his own, but I want to challenge conventional thinking and be a little bit contrarian, right? If people say, I don't want to make too much money, just enough to be comfortable. But we don't say that about anything else. You don't say, I don't want to be too healthy, just healthy enough to be comfortable. I don't want to score 50 touchdowns, just enough touchdowns to be comfortable. I don't want my kids to be that successful, just successful enough to be comfortable, right? I don't want my career to do that well. I just want to do well enough to be comfortable, right? I don't want my family to be that healthy, just healthy enough to be comfortable. Okay, we don't say that about anything else but money. And so just encouraging people, it just doesn't make any sense. And so I just would encourage people to live a life of service and abundance, and realize that the more you have, the more you can give. And so if you make $1 million a year, you make $30 million a year. Nobody said you had to. People go, well, I just don't need all that. Who said it was all going to be spent on you? So when you think differently, like, you can make a ton of money and maybe 80% of your income you give away. But just encouraging people, like, you don't serve anybody by playing smaller. You don't serve the team by playing smaller. You don't serve the company you work for. You don't serve your own company if you own your own company. You don't serve your family. Like, I fear for my wife and children if I'm playing small. They need me to be the best that I can be for them. And I'm speaking holistically. It doesn't just mean play small financially, but be great in service, be great in love, go make as much money as you can, go add as much value, be humble. You should also be extremely generous. I mean, and I just think people are nervous sometimes to go big, or they're afraid. They're okay with going big on the court, and they're not afraid to tomahawk, dunk, and make the crowd go wild. But be just as ambitious in your pursuit of influence, impact, income, serving, generosity, giving a lot away, and don't shy away from that. Because once again, like I said earlier, you're living the story you tell yourself. If a part of you thinks that there's something wrong with making more money, you're not going to make a lot more money. If a part of you thinks there's something wrong with excelling, you will not run your fastest. You will not try your hardest to receive that catch, or to pick the quarterback, or to whatever, and get an interception. I mean, you're just going to struggle because a part of you isn't in alignment with. And so I think people really need to go for gold in every area, though. Financially, yes, but also with character, with your loved ones, service, your health, physically, and I think that people will be extremely, extremely blessed by that, because that's what we need in the world, are people that are really going all out in service and love and ambition and drive. And so that is something that I would want to leave with people. You don't want to be a bot, right? You want to be a main character. I mean, your life is your life. So I would think in your own life, you'd want to be, you'd want to be one of the main characters. So I'm excited for the athletes that are impacted by you guys with Blueprint to Blue Chip, and how they learn things that a lot of us did not learn, or at least it was not systematized like this when we were younger.
Awesome. Freddie, once an athlete, always an athlete. You're a father. You're a husband. You're an incredible Christian. But let's loosen up the tie and share with the audience about your entertainment background, because you are an entertainer. Bring us, pull back the curtain. Tell us a little bit about that past life.
Sure. So I grew up in a very musical family. Like Earth, Wind, and Fire played at my parents' wedding. They were close with them. I mean, I won't name drop, but there's a lot of different entertainers from way back in the day to even people that are very big right now that I just kind of grew up around. My family, my aunt, uncle, just a lot of different people that I was around. So I kind of had that bug, and I grew up very musical family. I play saxophone. I play alto saxophone, baritone saxophone, guitar, piano. I'm a vocalist. And so anyways, that I just knew that was going to be a part of my world. After I graduated from UC Irvine, I sold everything to my name, moved to Australia to go to Hillsong International Leadership College. Is like a Bible college, but they have an unbelievable music program. That's some of the most talented musicians I've remember in my life out there. Some unbelievable singers that a lot of them have ridiculous. I mean, like a couple of them have won Grammys since we went to that college together. We were literally broke in these dorms in Australia together, and some of them have won Grammys. They've been on stage. Some of them have co-written songs with artists like Brandon Lake. I mean, it's just incredible. So that was kind of like my world for a while. Moved back to LA, started songwriting like the secular industry, started doing a bunch of different stuff, just regular music, church music, regular music, all these different things. And loved it. Loved it. Had a blast of it. My wife and I both have a dance background. For her, it's more ballet and jazz. And then for me, hip hop. And so I was doing a lot of different things. Did some stuff in film and TV for a while, did some PSAs, a couple commercials. I was able to do some print work with Nike, but it was just my legs and my feet for like some track stuff. So I was just scrambling across LA, and I was blessed to actually be able to make enough money to pay my bills just through some entertainment stuff, music primarily, and some print work and a little bit of like I did some commercials and stuff like that. So it was a blast. I always say I love entertainment. I just kind of started hating Hollywood, but I love entertainment. And there's very good people in Hollywood. There's amazing people in Hollywood, but there's a lot of egotistical, like ridiculousness. It's just out of control. So I started to transition out of that. Music will always be a part of my life, though. I will write more in the future. You know, my wife and I want to build out kind of an elite studio, like a really high caliber music studio in our home, and have artists and different people that can just come record and we can collaborate. So it'll always be a part of my life. It's just not front and center. It's not my life, but it's a part of my life and I love it. Yeah.
Awesome. So according to Freddie, who are the top 3 entertainers or vocalists of all time?
Top 3 entertainers for what?
Top entertainers or vocalists, whether it's dance or whether it's a lead singer or solo artist.
Yeah, I mean, one of the top entertainers to me, I can't get behind like 97% of his music, but I've met him, written songs for him, been around him is Chris Brown. I mean, I've been around, I was able to spend quite a bit of time around him, and I mean, his music is just so ungodly. It's not even funny. It's out of control. Good Lord. But as an entertainer, he is gifted. And, you know, I wish the content of some of his music went a slightly different direction, but he's undeniably one of the greatest entertainers, I think, of our generation. If you look from a pop R&B standpoint, singing, dancing, all that kind of stuff, he's unbelievable. I mean, that's where Chris Brown got a lot of his. Michael Jackson is, I mean, the king of pop. I mean, so when you think about entertainment, I'm talking about putting it together, singing, dancing. Is so, you know, I mean, that's such a hard question. Vocalists, I mean, you go on and on and on. Whitney Houston, you know, Adele. I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous. I think Tori Kelly right now is kind of a modern. She's out of control as a vocalist. There's so many undeveloped people though that are amazing. And so, I mean, a lot of people I think are phenomenal entertainers are people I don't really listen to anymore that often, but from an entertainment perspective, they're very, very, very good. You know, I mean, Beyonce's great. I don't really listen to her anymore, but I mean, there's a lot of great entertainers out there. And so this is good. This is random, but I actually really like Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac.
Totally.
Lindsey Buckingham is out of control in terms of singing guitar. And you know, Stevie Nicks classic. I mean, there's so many good performers. I took you from Chris Brown and Michael Jackson and Beyonce to Lindsey, but to Fleetwood Mac. But anyways, you know, so that I'll leave it at that. I mean, I left out some of the greatest of all time, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no question. That's always a question. I like to, you know, bring it back to something and just make it a little more personal to our guests. And for me, I never realized how exceptional he was, and that was Prince, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, so for you to say that about Chris Brown, that really says a lot, which is going to force me to kind of dig into a little bit about who he is, because I would have never guessed, and I take your word for it. Freddie, where can people get a hold of you, whether that's your social media or a website or your email? Where can people reach out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really too robust on a ton of social media platforms. Instagram and LinkedIn are kind of two of the top platforms that I engage in and stuff like that. And it's more recent. I took a 5-year sabbatical from a lot of social media, but at Freddie Gladney Official is Instagram, and on LinkedIn, just Freddie Gladney. I mean, it's clearly my profile. If you go there, Freddie Gladney on LinkedIn, and my email, you know, kind of the major email where a lot of people can engage with me is freddieGladney@gmail.com. You know, GladneyFamilyEnterprises.com is one of our websites where we're able to connect with people and they can learn a little bit more about what we do. So yeah, but it's been an honor to be here with you guys, and very, very excited where all of us are headed.
No doubt. No doubt. Freddie, thank you so much for sharing your story and your truth. Team, if this conversation challenged you, inspired you, or made you think differently, share it. Send it to an entrepreneur trading time for money, a former athlete building their next chapter, or anyone who wants to understand that character-based wealth building really looks like, and it starts from within. This is the Standard Podcast, and this movement only grows when we raise the standard together. And if you feel compelled, do two things for us. Go to Apple or Spotify and leave us a 5-star review. This helps get out to more people so they can hear what Freddie has to say. And again, reach out to Freddie. We'll have his contact information in the show notes. Definitely reach out to Freddie if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or just about building wealth from the inside out. Talent fades, but truth endures. Let's raise the bar, rebuild the culture, and become the standard. We'll see you next time. Freddie, Aaron, thank you so much, team. Have a fantastic weekend.